How is it that we're in 2021 and this is the first time that I've ever watched this movie? What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to my channel where I talk about movies. Today I'm going to be talking about the first Nightmare on Elm Street. So the first thing I want to say right off the bat, I love this movie, okay? I think I might even go as far as to say it's my favorite slasher horror film. I put it above Friday the 13th, Halloween, Chucky, I mean, you name it, this guy takes the #1 spot. Alright, so enough with the compliments, let me start talking about why I liked it so much. So the first thing I want to bring up is the soundtrack. The soundtrack in this movie is phenomenal, okay? The Freddy Krueger song, 1, 2, Freddy's coming for you. 3, 4, better lock your door.
5, 6, grab your crucifix. 7, 8, gonna stay up late.
Tell me that's not creepy as hell, man. I thought that song was very effective at setting the tone, and the fact that little girls are singing it makes it even creepier. So yeah, that song was really good and effective, and there was also this other sound effect in the movie that I really liked. Check it out. So yeah, for whatever reason, I thought that specific sound effect was really good and I really liked it. So as far as the soundtrack goes, I only got good things to say about it. Alright, let's go ahead and move on to the next factor, which is partly why I think I love this movie so much, and that's the nostalgia that I get from it. I love the 1980s. It's one of my favorite decades ever. The music, the movies, the pop culture, it's just awesome. And this movie really gave me that nostalgic feel. I mean, the clothes they're wearing, their hairstyles, even the vintage look of the movie itself. I mean, it gives me that like high school vibe of the 1980s, kind of like the movie Christine. If you've seen it, it's also like a teen horror film back in the day. Also gives me that nostalgic vibe. And not to mention, Johnny Depp is in this movie, dude. He is so young. I was watching the movie and I was like, I heard Johnny Depp say, like, when is he coming in? And then I'm looking at the screen like, oh my god, that's him! He's so young, I didn't even recognize him, dude. He looks so different. I mean, you have to understand, I grew up with Johnny Depp being Jack Sparrow. That's how I knew him, so it's like a very different look. Alright, now the next thing I want to talk about is where all this stuff takes place, right? Like the dream. This was low-key a genius idea, and I'll tell you why. In horror movies, in order to pull off a great horror sequence, you kind of have to be isolated. You need to be in like the middle of the woods. It has to be like 1 a.m. when everyone's sleeping in order for you to pull off these really cool scenes, because you have to be alone. And when you think about it, you're alone in your dreams, and in your dreams there's no limits. You can literally do whatever you want. Like in this scene when Freddy Krueger extends his arms all the way out, I thought this was visually very cool. Another visual that was very effective was the body bag that was getting pulled by an invisible person in the hallway. That was awesome. Again, these are all things that you can do in dreams because there's no limits in dreams. So I thought that was really cool and genius in a way. So changing subject, let's talk about one of the flaws of this movie. I did not enjoy the ending. And I'm not talking about like the ending itself, but I'm talking about specifically the last scene. Remember when the kids are like locked in the car and they're getting driven away and then the mom gets sucked in? I just thought this scene was unnecessary, right? Like, first of all, it left me confused because I was like, wait, didn't the mom get like snatched by Freddy at the end there? So it gets you thinking like, are they still dreaming? And it's just like, it's too much. It was just unnecessary and it leaves people confused. And I think the visual itself was just not effective. Like, I didn't think it was scary or well made, or it was just kind of like cheesy and corny. So I was like, yeah, that's the one thing I didn't like about the movie. But aside from that, it's a pretty solid horror film. So I'm gonna give Nightmare on Elm Street an A-. I usually don't give horror slasher films like these a high grade. Even if it's good, I'll usually tend to put them in the B category. But I like this one so much that I'm gonna give it an A status because, like I said, I thoroughly enjoyed myself. I think it's a great horror flick, and it's one of those films that I think you can just watch over and over in the Halloween season. And oh my god, how did I forget? The kills in this movie, we gotta talk about this. The 2 kills in this movie are probably the most intense, and I'm not saying this lightly, the most intense kills I've ever seen in film. I mean, please comment down below something more intense than that. I mean, she is levitating, getting ripped apart, thrown against the wall, screaming, and the guy's like, what's going on? That scene was so intense, bro. Because if you think about other slasher films, they usually hit him with an axe or stab him with a knife, and that's pretty much it. They're like dead on the spot. But in this scene, you see her panicking and struggling and screaming. I mean, it is grotesque and very visual as well. So I thought that kill and the Johnny Depp kill at the end when he gets sucked into the bed and then you just see a bunch of blood just getting sucked out, very visually effective. So just to wrap up this movie review real quick, I think that the visuals are very intense and gnarly. The soundtrack is great. You're gonna get a boost of nostalgia, and the only bad thing is the last scene. So if you can just look away for the last 30 seconds, I think you're good. So Nightmare on Elm Street, have you seen it? Did you like it? Let me know down in the comment section below, and as always, let me know what you guys want to see for future videos, and I'll catch y'all later. Peace.